What's up, sports fans? What's up, world? You are now tuned into the world's greatest MC Ron and his co-host.
Your guy, Zen on Ken.
And we are keeping it 10 toes down. We are the sports podcast that always keeps it real about sports talk. And I'd like to say congratulations to the Oklahoma City Thunder for winning the NBA championship in 7 games. It was a really good 7-game series. I would like to say my condolences out to Tyrese Halliburton. He injured his Achilles like a few minutes into the game. This man was like, this man was about to do something special in the finals, and sadly, he got hurt. Maybe I shouldn't have said condolences. Maybe I should have just said prayers. Either way,
Condolences to his Achilles, man.
yeah.
I hate seeing Achilles injuries. Now, mind you, this is like the third one we've seen this year. The other two was like
It's playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. The other two was who? Dame and Tatum. But this one, like, I even showed my friend. I was like, "Bro, look!" And you can see it's like a guitar string. It just snaps. You can see it snapping from the bone. That just and then the telltale for me is when that calf started jiggling. I'm like, uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, bro, it's really sad, bro. Like, I mean, because like if you look at let's like take a step back to like Game 6.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, Siakam summoned the basketball gods with him throwing his head back and rolling his eyes backwards. I don't know what type of kumbaya he was saying out there, but man, it worked for him. Because like if you looked at Hallie in Game 6, like you could clearly see like he looked uncomfortable, almost hobbled. You know what I'm saying? When he was running down the court and everything. And when they were saying like, you know, he had a calf injury, I was like, oh man. Well, you know, Game 5 when he had that calf injury, I was like, oh man, I don't know if he wants to play on that. he did good Game 6, but his team, you know, went crazy. They were up like 30 points at one point. They went on a 36-9 run. Obi Toppin had 20. Like, come on. But in game 7, that's why I was like, it's kind of up and stuck. Because like once it was like confirmed that they had that calf thing, I was like, oh man. Anytime somebody tries to play on a calf, like the thing is they always push off with the calf that's injured. Stop doing it. Stop doing that, bro. We done learned from 3 people this year and Kobe. Like, but I mean, yeah. With that being said, man, like, the Pacers really did their thing. Honestly, this whole offseason, like, we didn't expect them to go to the finals, and they did. It kind of sucks that their star player is going to be out for the entire next series because, like, they could run it back, you know what I'm saying? But now they gotta wait an extra year. Now all of their players are either gonna be like, some of their players might be gone because of contracts and stuff like that. Other players like
second apron,
you know what I'm saying?
is like,
it's crazy. And then like you got players like Siakam and McConnell who are older. I think McConnell will be 33 in 2 years. And
man, that
Siakam
man
34.
That man, TJ McCollum, is ageless, man. He looks like he's 40, but he plays like he's 20. Come on.
Yeah.
Right. He keeps on pushing the pace. Like, there was a time in the third quarter where he was the only Pacer scoring. He was really trying to keep them alive.
Yeah.
It is sad that Tyrese Halliburton got hurt. But like you said, like every single time a player hurts the calf, we have seen that. They always, anytime they do like get a calf strain, that's a telltale sign. Hey, bro, your calf is telling you, or your Achilles or something. It's your body's telling you, hey man, your Achilles is about to. You better chill out right now. You better just sit this one out. Give it a good couple of months. and you'll be good. But Tyrese Halliburton played, and like who wouldn't play on a calf strain?
Hey,
Especially these guys are competitors.
I heard that
Oh,
Ronnie Lott amputated his finger just so he could play in the Super Bowl.
exactly. Like so, you were talking about professional athletes, especially because nowadays people always want to judge professional athletes. Wanted to say, hey, you could have played on this. Hey, you could have played on this. Even though you shouldn't take the outside opinion. You should only take the opinion of a doctor.
Right.
So if a doctor tells you you need to sit down, and I don't care what these old '90s, '80s, '70s fans keep on saying. These baby boomers keep on saying, "Hey, back in my day, people played on a broken wrist or something like that. Broken
They
ankle."
played
And
till
all
they were
that.
dead.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care what they think or what they're saying about it. It is about what the a licensed professional doctor says. Okay, so if a doctor told Tyrese Halliburton, "Hey, you can go play on this strained calf, just be careful." Okay. But like I said, these guys are competitors. They want to, especially it's the finals, the NBA finals. I understand that Tyrese Halliburton did not want to let his team down. And the moment when he went down, and I saw him crying and like hitting the floor, I'm like, oh. Then I saw the replay. I'm like, oh. I was like, that has to. Actually, when he first went down, they were saying it was a calf. I'm like, nah, bro. I think that's an Achilles tear. I thought that, and then when I saw the replay, I'm like, oh yeah, that's an Achilles tear. And then when I say, oh no, it's a lower leg. No, it's an Achilles. That was an Achilles. That was a torn Achilles. But let's get back to the game. Even after Tyrese Halliburton went out for the first half, the Pacers had a 1-point lead. Like it looked like they were playing inspired basketball. They looked like it looked like, hey, they were going to make a game out of this, if not win the game. But what happened in the second half? The Oklahoma City Thunder won this game like how they won this entire season with their defense. They were able to turn the Pacers over, I believe, about like 22 times this game. Yeah. And like it's the same thing we've talked about on this podcast during this series. Turnovers. Because both of these teams, honestly, they were very evenly matched. Very similar styles team. So it was the turnovers that decided every single game. If OKC turned the ball over a lot and the Pacers didn't, guess what? The Pacers won. And then vice versa. Because I bet you I could go through every single game, and the team that won had the least amount of turnovers. And so, and especially once again in that second half, the Oklahoma City Thunder turned up the defense, and the Pacers didn't have their engine. Yeah, T.J. McConnell was trying his absolute best in the third quarter, and then you had Benedict Mathurin was trying his best in the fourth quarter. He was trying, but they needed more. They needed more from Siakam. They needed more from Obi Toppin. And also we saw the weaknesses of Obi Toppin's game. Like we saw the weaknesses of all these guys. They play off of Halliburton. So like, for example, Obi Toppin was able, he's not a shake you down, all that. No. He plays well off of a guard driving, kicking him out. But yeah, it was. The Pacers needed more from the outside people. Once again,
the role players.
Yeah, the role players. They needed, because when your star goes out, you need the role players to step up, and then you need your second star to step up. And I would say that second star is Pascal Siakam. They also needed Andrew Nembhard to play a little bit more. They also needed Aaron Naismith, but he fouled out. But they still needed him to hit some more shots. Like, they needed everybody to step up even more in the second half. But also give credit to Oklahoma City's Thunder's defense, because I think what happened is, for me, the way I felt, the way I saw when I was watching the game is like the Oklahoma City Thunder said, "Whew, Tyrese Halliburton's out. Okay, we're good." And then the Pacers were like, "Nah, man, y'all ain't good. Y'all better start playing." And then they kind of and then after that, in the second half, the Thunder kind of woke up and be like, okay, we're going to strap these guys down. They're not going to, they're one guy that we really were afraid of is gone. Now we're really going to really going to hunker down. Also, another guy I didn't mention, Miles Turner, he also needed to step up, but credit to the Oklahoma City Thunder's defense because honestly, this whole game, nobody really shot well. No. Especially the Pacers in the second half, and really Oklahoma City all game. They didn't really shoot that well. Like I remember just watching, especially like SGA. I think he was 8 for 26. You know, he got to the free throw line a lot. Like that was the one thing
8
that
for 27.
happened. Like,
8 for 27.
8 for 27. So yeah, that's
then
really
Williams was 7 for 20. Mm-hmm. Williams was 7 for 20. Caruso was 4 from 10. But did you see Caruso saying that? Hey, I finally got a real ring now because he was referring to his bubble ring.
hey,
that's what I said. Hey, we ain't gonna do that with Caruso.
I know, man. No. Don't let people because people are always. And speaking of the bubble ring, how people say like the ring's fake, the ring has an asterisk by it and all that. People are not going to say this ring has an asterisk by it for the Oklahoma City Thunder because of the injury to
Hallie. And Hallie not only I think he was 3 for 4 from 3.
Yep.
Within them 6 minutes that he played. Mm-hmm. He also, I think, let's see. Yep, he also led all scorers in 3-point mix. In 6 minutes, he only played in the game. That's not good. It's crazy. Okay,
I think that both teams have had stints where they played really good, and they also have stints where they played really bad. Like, again, Williams, he had a 40-point game in Game 5. In Game 6, he had a negative 40-point differential. So you know what I'm saying? But I think that is all because all of these teams are what? Young. There's no old head. I mean, you got Siakam and, again, what's his name? McConnell, but they don't count for real. There's no like LeBron or Jokic or KD in the finals. So I think, it was kind of up and down and everything like that. And honestly, if OKC had played a more veteran team, they might have lost because they was giving it up as much as they was getting it. But I mean, shout out to Shea, man. Like, he, for not only getting regular season MVP but finals MVP in the same season. There's only been a few people, if it's done that, if I can rattle them off to you. You got Willis Reed, you got Kareem, Moses Malone, Larry Bird, Magic, Michael, Hakeem, Shaq, Timmy, and Bron. That's a good list to be. Yeah, that's a good list to be a part of.
It really is, and I think he's also part of. You're talking about the list of who made MVP and Finals MVP, but also I think he's even part of an even smaller list of players who did MVP, Finals MVP, and led the league in scoring.
Yeah, exactly. I think we all know Michael. Excuse me. We all know Michael is on that one, but
yeah,
that list is probably
I'm trying to remember who else was on that. I think it was MJ. I think it was Shaq. And
Hakeem?
Huh?
Hakeem?
No, I'm trying to remember. I just know those two off the just right off the top of my head. I would have to really look into it. Because I know it's a short list. But yeah, shout out to Shea. I'm not going to lessen this championship for them because at the end of the day, all the Thunder can do is, play who's in front of them. All right, you can't just. And because that's not the problem. People want to put an asterisk by everything because they're mad that somebody didn't win in the way that they're supposed to. I guess I don't know, or they're mad that their team lost, so they're trying to find a justification in their head to say, hey, if so and so wasn't hurt, we would have won. Maybe not. I don't. Even when Hallie was going off, the game was still close. So
Right.
it wasn't that like you're acting like the Indiana Pacers were up by like 10, 15 points. You would actually had a strong case for that. A very strong case if he was. Now, I believe it would have been a closer game? Yes. But to automatically say that the Pacers are going to win, your case would have been made if Hallie was going off and Pacers were up by like 10, 15 points. Then I would agree with you. You said, yeah, but the fact the game was tied still, it makes that case harder to make. It makes that case harder to make. Not saying they would have lost, they would have still lost, but I'm also not saying they wouldn't have won either. I just believe it would have just been a closer game.
Nothing
But
is a foregone conclusion, but it's definitely like we can. Well, I think everybody can agree that regardless of like whatever, this is a very entertaining entertaining finals run by both teams. Honestly,
also, speaking of entertaining finals run, we also talk about we've also talked about this podcast, and every single NBA fan and basketball fan that's talking about how the NBA, their viewership numbers are going down and all that stuff. Well, guess what? This finals had an average of 16.4 million viewers. I believe it's the most in 6 years. That was 6 years ago. We're talking about the end of the Golden State Warriors dynasty. So I'm just saying. Excuse me. So I'm just saying it's basketball ain't dead yet. It's not dead yet. It is still alive. It's still alive, baby. But got a question, KG. What does this like? I honestly hate getting into the legacies talks, especially when it comes to players, especially when it comes to current players. I really do, but people are going to start talking about it anyway, and since people are going to start talking about it, we got to talk about it here. Even though I hate talking about players' legacies when their career just started. All right, our legacy is something that you want to talk about really near the end of somebody's career, not the beginning, not the middle, but the end, nearing the end. But what does this do for SGA's legacy?
I think it kicks it off. it begins his legacy. Now he might be the second youngest, or this might be the second youngest team to win a final. I think he's the second youngest Finals MVP. But yeah, I mean, I think I think it only kicks his legacy off because if we're honest, he's younger than 25, so he doesn't really like have a legacy yet. People are really starting to catch whiff of how good Shea is. So right now he is I would consider him in the myth legend. I mean, in the myth category instead of the legacy category. There's talk,
Yeah,
there's hearsay, but the world don't know yet. And he's still
yeah,
getting better. Like I hear people all the time say if he develops a consistent 3-pointer, is done. And I'm like, yeah, because every time I see him shoot a three, bro, like because he's dominating that game. I mean, make it three is because he's dominating that game. So it definitely kickstarts his legacy, and I can't wait to see what he has to show next.
I really can't wait either because and I agree with you, man. This just kicks off his legacy. This just starts it off. Now let's see what higher levels he can achieve because like you said, he does have a little bit of weaknesses to this game, like 3-point shot. Maybe he can become even a little bit better, on ball defender. Not saying he's a bad defender, not saying that, but there's still levels that he can reach. There's still levels that he can reach, and I just can't wait to. I just can't wait to see. All right, and I'm really excited that we got a new young play, a new face for the NBA. That's what it looks like. But now the question is, can the Oklahoma City Thunder repeat? I believe they can.
That's my question. That was good. That was going to be my next question. It's like, okay, they did it, but can they do it again? Because honestly, I mean, they really. I'm not calling Indiana an easy out, but like they really had. Like, imagine if they had played Giannis or the Celtics or who else was coming out there, the New York. Like, I think it would have been a much different finals. And especially in the West, like the West is only getting better as we're going to talk about soon. Um, so I don't know. I don't know if they go. I don't think they gonna go back next year.
I picked the Oklahoma City Thunder to win the finals from jump, from the beginning of this playoffs. For me, it didn't matter who they faced coming out of the East. I thought they were going to win. All right, so the Pacers being in there did not change my mind one bit. So, because originally I had them going up against the Celtics, and I had them beating the Celtics in 7. So, so that just shows you how much I revered the Oklahoma City Thunder team, and I think this team is primed and ready to even repeat. Now, once again, we got to wait to how this offseason goes, as we see the offseason has kind of already kickstarted even before Game 7. But yeah, I'm just excited to see what more they can do. Before we get into a certain thing that happened before the finals, I also have another little tidbit to say. I saw on social media that someone said that this officially Oklahoma City Thunder's win officially made the Paul George trade one of the worst trades in NBA history.
Worse for who?
I'm talking about really for the Clippers.
Yeah, because it can't be bad. It can't be bad for It can't be. That's crazy. Paul George is the reason why the Golden State Warriors broke up.
Because if it was not for Paul George, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would have never been traded.
Wait a minute, huh? The reason why Golden State Warriors broke up?
Yeah, because remember before I said it was Shai. Shai was the reason why, but Shai only got to OKC because they traded for Paul George. That's crazy how things like the ripple effects happen so much further down the road. But oh yeah, for the Clippers, the moment I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't up on Shai like that, but the moment they traded Shai, I was like, what are they doing? He's good. Like, he can be so much better in the future. And he, obviously, Finals MVP, regular season MVP. They could have used that. They could have used that in LA, but I guess that's why they're the Clippers, man.
Yeah, I would say this officially does make the Paul George trade because you're the Clippers. You traded for Paul George. You gave Oklahoma City Thunder a smorgasbord,
a franchise player. They gave him a franchise player.
Yeah. And so now look, you gave it up to get Paul George so that y'all could win an NBA championship. But not only did y'all trade away, y'all once again had to trade away Paul George to the the Sixers. The players that you traded, because we got to also include the picks too, won the team you traded for a championship. That is crazy.
Yep.
That is crazy. And then once again, we also mentioned before, a lot of people also mentioned before that, the Pacers, the team that also went to the finals, traded Paul George to the Thunder. It is just crazy. And the Thunder, it's just the two teams that traded Paul George got to the NBA Finals.
Dang.
And Paul George has yet to get there.
I'm telling you, hey, I keep telling people all the time, Paul George is an intricate part to a championship team. I never said it was his championship team.
It is crazy. Maybe the Sixers need to trade Paul George next.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, like they if they do, they'll probably get to the finals. All right, so that's just to let you Sixers fans know, hey, it's time for y'all to find a trade partner for Paul George. But I mentioned the NBA offseason already kind of kicking off really before the NBA finals, and a big trade has finally happened. Kevin Durant has been traded to the Rockets. KJ, what are the what are the specifics of this trade?
So, Kevin Durant goes to Houston. That means Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, the number 10 overall pick in this year's draft, and 5 second rounders will be going to the Suns.
The second rounders.
5 second rounders.
Whew. So, here's my question. The same old question we always ask anytime a trade happens, especially a major trade that's happened. Who won?
I think both teams got exactly what they needed, or exactly what they were looking for, because as far as Houston, they're in win now mode. You got Van Vliet, Kevin Durant, Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith, and Sengun starting. Like, I'm kind of, first and foremost, them trading Jalen Green. I understand why you would have to do that to get Kevin Durant, but I'm like, dang, like y'all really, really wanted Kevin Durant because Jalen Green was their number one number one pick a couple years ago. Now, I will say, Detroit won because this proves that Cade Cunningham was a better pick than Jalen Green, baby. Let's get it. But yeah, so Houston is definitely in win now mode for this year, next year, and maybe, hopefully, if the basketball guys give it to us, a third year of Kevin Durant, which means Brian gonna stay another 6 years. But as far as Phoenix is kind of getting rid of the old remnants of what they were trying to accomplish the last several years. And right now, I mean, their team is looking like, how many people on the basketball team? 15? It's looking like 8 of those players are shooting guards. But having a backcourt of Jalen Green and Devin Booker,
nasty work, man.
Nasty work. That's the opposite of what Orlando put together, because Orlando put together a nice defensive, technical type of backcourt. But this one right here gonna drop some buckets on you because they both scoring over 20 points.
Oh, see, I was being nasty work as in it's more of a negative, but okay.
Oh, nah. Yeah. Oh, you don't like it? You don't like it? I mean, for them, bro, like it's cool. I think that you can put Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, and obviously you can put Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks on the same court, but adding in Devin Booker, I think you can do that. But they still missing a point guard and a big man, as to where Houston probably just needs a backup point guard.
Okay, offensively and scoring wise, okay, I can see your point when it comes to, once again, that backcourt of Jalen Green and Devin Booker. But I don't know if I would want that. Especially because Devin Booker is like in his 8th, 9th year. This man wants to win. This man's in the mode where, hey man, I'm in my prime. I want 27. To win. Yeah. So this man is in hey, I want to win. I want to start winning championships. I already been to the finals. I already know how that feels like. I want to get back there and I want to win. So you're putting me here you're putting me in a backcourt with Jalen Green. That doesn't sound like, hey, we're trying to win a championship. That just says, hey, we're trying to score a lot of points and we're just trying to keep butts in seats. But are we going to win a
Put
championship with
those-
this duo? No.
I'm
Okay,
not gonna lie. I
no.
think they might be a better team next year than they are now.
With Bradley Beal
I
too.
was just about to say, that was literally the name that just popped in my head.
So
I don't
you got
know.
a tree. You've got it basically a tree because you're gonna start all three of them, most likely. So you got a trio of Bradley Beal, Jalen Green, and Devin Booker.
No, no defense is being played.
Like, I was like on
No
defense. Who
defense.
that, my friends.
Nah, bro.
Woo!
You either have to make Beal come off the bench, bro, or just cut ties. Cause ain't no way. Beal gotta go. You already shipped off Chris Paul. You already shipped off what's the big man name? Um the big man they had in their title. I can't think of his name right now. Um you shipped everybody. Kevin Durant. Like, come on, bro. Just go and ship off Bradley Beal and complete the process.
See, I think that
What if Kevin
who
Durant?
won the trade? I think I'm leaning more toward the Rockets because the Rockets, you're now, like you said, you're in win now mode, and this move puts you in. Hey, we're going to be an actual contender. With the Phoenix Suns, I feel like they just got what they can get. I don't think this was the deal they necessarily wanted, because like 5 second rounders, come on.
But we're seeing in the
Like
NBA
second
now
round
where
picks.
like second round picks are. I said we're seeing in the NBA now where like second round picks are starting to come into fruition more often.
Yeah, but you want, at the end of the day, you want a first round pick, especially like a pick in the top 10. That's what you really want. And the fact that they couldn't get like more than one, because they did get a first round pick, but you would want to get more than that, maybe like at least 2 or 3 first round picks. Then the rest could be in a couple seconds. But I think that's the deal that the Phoenix Suns were looking for, where they can get multiple first round picks. But like I said, this is probably the deal that they had to make. Like, they're like, listen, nobody else is, and I think because that's what because a lot of rumors were saying that KD was going to the Rockets, and I think they were the Phoenix Suns were looking. Hey, they were shopping around Kevin Durant to other teams like, hey, do y'all want to give us multiple first? Because that's what they were looking for. All right, they didn't want multiple seconds; they wanted a multiple first. So they're like, hey, we want about 3-4 first rounders. But I guess a lot of teams were like, listen, we're not going to sign KD, especially if like the teams that they were shopping him around to really weren't his preferred destinations. Then you're looking at teams who are like, listen, we're not going to give you multiple first rounders for a guy that's only going to be here for about a year or two, and that's not going to automatically, increase our championship window. And so that was really the best deal that they had on the table. But I feel like the Phoenix Suns could have gotten a little bit more, but I'm gonna give them like a B minus though. I'm gonna give them like a B minus. All right, the Phoenix Suns still did good. They got a couple of pieces. They probably could take Jalen. They're gonna move Jalen Green or Dylan Brooks. I think they're gonna move one of those guys for probably like a pick or two or another player or something like that.
I'm telling you, they need to go out and try and get Giannis.
Yeah, I was about to say they're probably gonna, or they could take. What they can do is now that they've acquired Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green, take those two and probably package that with that 10th overall pick, and maybe a couple of their second round picks, and go after like you said, maybe go after a star like Giannis, maybe, because I don't think Dylan Brooks or Jalen Green will be on the Suns by the end of the season next year.
More likely gonna be Brooks, not gonna be there. But I don't mind Devin Booker and Jalen Green being on the same court. Now, might you put them with a point guard? Maybe. If you don't, okay. If you fill out the rest of the 2, 3, 4. You should be more solid, but I don't mind it. I think I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it potential status. It might pop.
The only thing is that it's this one trade that they made for Bradley Beal. My former Wizard is really putting an anchor. Like it's like putting this $60 million anchor down on them. And they really need to that's who they really need to trade. But here's my question. Who's gonna trade for Bradley Beal?
Nobody.
Especially with he has to waive his no trade clause because my Wizards signed him to a no trade clause. I don't want to relive. I don't want to go back there. Don't want to, because I'm still mad to this day that my Wizards, signed into a no trade clause. Though we still were able to trade him. We still were. I just felt like there were better trades out there. We should have traded him while the iron was hot. But it's okay. It's okay. But he's the Phoenix Suns problem now, and so now they got the $60 million anchor on their team, and now that's who they're really trying to trade. But like you said, KJ, nobody wants to trade for Bradley Beal.
Hey man, I don't believe in doubling down on failures. If it don't work, let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
The
or whatever else
only team I can see now, if you were going to trade Bradley Beal, you would have to trade him to a contender. And a team that is pretty much they're pretty much set. They're pretty much set, and they don't mind. And they don't mind. Honestly, I see the perfect team for Bradley Beal to get traded to. Guess who it is?
Better not be no team I like, because I'm gonna tell you, heck no.
Just guess the team. Just guess the team.
You gonna say the Lakers?
No.
The Wizards.
Think about it. A team.
The Celtics.
Perfect. Huh?
The Celtics.
No.
The Pacers.
Getting close.
Who, man? The Thunder.
Perfect. Yes, that is the team. Think about it. They have a plethora of picks still. They don't mind coming up off of. I mean, they've got a ready set team. That's a perfect team, and I think Bradley Beal would waive his no trade clause to go there. But the thing is, Bradley Beal would have to come off the bench for that team. But I do see that they could use a Bradley Beal coming off the bench for scoring. Because think about it. Bradley Beal's a guy that can create his own shot off the bench, which means that when Shea goes to the bench, you don't lose that scoring punch. Or when Shea and Jalen Williams go to the bench, you need a guy that they give you a little bit of scoring punch. Perfect. Now I don't know how he would flow within the offense, but I'm just saying the ideal, it wouldn't be that bad.
17, 3, and 4 wouldn't be bad off the bench.
Exactly. So that's why that a team like the Thunder. Now I understand Thunder fans are going to be like, hey, we don't need it. We don't know. I understand. I'm just saying it'd be a great fit because one, Oklahoma City Thunder have a lot of picks, have a lot of first round picks. So it makes it it's going to make it easier to trade for those picks, and the Suns are going to want some first round picks for Bradley Beal. Maybe one or two, and then, like I said, he would definitely add some nice scoring punch off the bench. I would if I'm Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Phoenix Suns call me up and say, hey man, if y'all give us a couple first, we'll give you Bradley Beal. I'm taking the deal because I'm thinking, hey, this guy could be perfect for my bench coming off the bench, but. That's just me. But elsewhere, because this is not a Bradley Beal trade thing. This is a KD trade thing. But elsewhere in basketball, the Lakers have sold their team. GD Buss is no longer the owner of the Lakers, or the Buss family, I guess, is no longer the owner of the Lakers. I think they've been owning, the Buss family has been in ownership of the Lakers for going back to Dr. Buss, R.I.P. to him, for like what? How many years, KJ? I know it's been like a couple decades.
Several decades.
Yeah. So the Buss family has been owning the Lakers for a long time. But now, who do they sell? Who do they sell to?
They sold it to. Let me get this man name right. I almost called him Mark Walter. I think that's his name though. Yeah, they sold it to Mark Walter. And if y'all don't know who Mark Walter is, let me tell y'all who Mark Walter is. Mark Walter is now not only the majority owner of the Lakers, because Jeannie Buss still keeps 15% ownership, and they gave her a role of governor, whatever that means.
Let's say here's a position, so that we can stay have the Buss family somewhat involved.
Somewhere up in there, right. What I was about to say. Yeah, let me tell y'all who Mark Walter is. Not only does Mark Walter now own the Lakers, but he also owns the Dodgers and the LA Sparks. So you know what that means? The man owns LA, bro. At this point, he owns everybody but the Rams. Like,
exactly.
These are some players that are up under his belt, right?
Yep.
Because on Hollywood they got the walk where you got the little stars and stuff, right?
Gotcha.
These are Mark Walter's stars. LeBron, Luka,
yep.
Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Clayton Kershaw, Freddie Freeman, Cameron Brink, Rakia Jackson, and Kelsey Plum.
Ooh.
Do you know what type of money this man got? This man got so much money, they might as well make him his own currency, bro. Like,
exactly, man.
The Lakers and the Dodgers, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous, bro.
But isn't Magic Johnson also part owner of the Dodgers too?
Yeah, I think so.
Just saying. I'm sorry. I'm thought process came to him, but yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Crazy. Now, what does this mean for the Lakers' success? Because we've seen the Lakers ever since Dr. Buss, Jeannie's dad had passed away, that they haven't experienced the same level of success. Because we know when it comes to a team like the Lakers, when it comes to a franchise like the Lakers, success is championships. When you're the Celtics and the Lakers, you don't getting to the playoffs, being a playoff team is not good enough. All right, it may be good enough for a team like my Wizards, a franchise like my Wizards, but it's not good enough for teams like the Lakers and Celtics. It's not, because you've been to the mountaintop more than any for those two franchises, and the Lakers and Celtics have been to the championship more than anybody and been to the championship and won the championship more than any franchise in NBA history. So you're talking about the Lakers. Success is not just getting to the championship, but is winning the championship. And ever since the death of Dr. Buss, I think you've only won one championship in 2020. And there's a lot of people that put an asterisk by that because it was in the bubble, even though I don't. But it is what it is. So, and in 2021, 2022, like you've had champions, especially in 2021. I would say. Well, no. Let me scratch that. You've had a championship team in 2020. You subsequently got rid of a lot of the solid pieces that you had in that championship team. And then you've been trying years and years again and again to get back to that championship level form, and you haven't been able to do that. And once again, in Los Angeles Lakers land, that's failure. That is failure. Once again, if we're talking about my Wizards, we've had some pretty successful years, man. but this is the Los Angeles Lakers. This isn't my Washington Wizards. So, what does this mean? Do you believe that we are going to see a turnaround for the Lakers?
I mean, yeah, we saw a turnaround for the Dodgers. Mark is not afraid to let people go. Also, he definitely has enough pocket to bring people in. Because if you can afford the Dodgers and all the stars that they have with the bottomless, baseball don't have a salary cap. So a little NBA contract probably ain't nothing to him. You know what I mean? So they have Luka. Luka is getting in shape. Brian is still Brian. And I feel like even when Brian retires, they're gonna bring somebody else in to replace him. Because who don't want to play for the Lakers? And you got Luka, and Luka finna be healthy and dropping dimes and buckets and baskets and dunks and everything that you can think of on top of defenders' heads. I mean, I like the fact that they still got the Bus family in there, but I think it's going to be. I can't believe I'm saying this because I don't like the Lakers, but I hope it's a good turnaround.
You don't like Lakers, but you are a LeBron. You are a LeBron fan.
Yes, I am. I am definitely a LeBron fan.
But yes, I do see Lakers have been needing a change of ownership. Honestly, they've been needing some competent ownership once again ever since Dr. Bus had passed away. So that looks like they're going to now. Lakers fans look like it looks like you all Lakers and LeBron fans. Now it looks like you have competent ownership. Now, when you say that he's not afraid to let somebody go, I think there's a chance he might trade LeBron.
It's a chance he might trade LeBron. I'm not.
And honestly, I've said this on the podcast, and you've thought I've been sacrilegious, but I think the time has come for you to finally trade LeBron. You have to find. I understand the man is 41 years old, and you're probably nah. At this point, you might just have to ride it out with him, because who's going to trade for LeBron, and B, what are you going to get from him?
Not the value that he's worth. I would
no. You're not going to get very much for him, because teams are going to realize, this man is about a year or two away from retiring.
Not going to pay him $250 million.
Exactly. So maybe this was like 5 years ago. If this is 2020 instead of 2025, you may have gotten a little bit for him. But yeah, I mean, I've said I've said on this podcast for the past couple of years that the Lakers probably need to trade LeBron, and once again, it's too late now. You gotta ride out. You just gotta ride out the storm. We just gotta. But the one thing I will not do if I'm the Lakers is sign him to another contract at all.
Oh, you got to, man.
No, you can't sign LeBron to another contract.
Yeah, bro. He gonna keep doing them 1 year player option deals.
No, I don't care what he wants. I will not sign LeBron to another contract.
Why not?
It's over.
Yeah, but he's still a great player.
I understand he's still playing at a top 10 level. I understand that. Like I said, he was second team All NBA this past season. He's still at, once again, that means that y'all believe he plays at a top 10 level right here, right now. However, the impact that he had, like we ain't talking about LeBron 10 years. We're not talking about LeBron 10 years ago. We're talking about LeBron now. 10 years ago, LeBron automatically elevates your team to where he just needs him, and he'll drag you to the finals.
But that's why.
But we're not talking about LeBron 10 years from now. We're talking about LeBron. We're not talking about LeBron 10 years ago. We're talking about LeBron now.
That's why they brought in Luka, though, because if this was LeBron 10 years ago, yeah, you wouldn't need Luka. You would like Luka, but you wouldn't need Luka. But now LeBron is less athletic. You bring the young people in to do the athleticism, and then he do everything else still.
I'm not signing LeBron to another contract. I'm just no matter how good he's playing at 57 years old, I will not sign LeBron to another contract. All respects to him. All respects to Hall of Fame player. At the very worst, top 3 player of all time. But yeah, not doing it. Sorry, can't do it. Will not do it. But shout out to the Lakers for getting a new owner, because it's time to look to the future. And speaking of looking into the future, we have the NBA draft. The 2025 NBA draft is Wednesday? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow is Tuesday.
I'm sorry. Today's Monday. Woo, it feels like a Tuesday to me. But because we're recording this podcast on June 23rd, 2025. Monday. Sorry. But yes. Looking towards the future. The NBA draft is on Wednesday. I'm not really excited for it at all, but I do like NBA is unlike the NFL, which the NFL, you finish the season, you gotta wait 2 months
for anything, for a lick of something. And then the NBA just like, oh, we just crowned the NBA champion. Okay, cool. Here's the draft. Next up.
No, like all right. Congratulations. Okay, so you won the championship. Okay, move aside.
It's like a graduation. You give the diploma to somebody. It's like, okay, get your ass up out of here.
Exactly.
Sending you next.
All right, exactly. Oklahoma City Thunder's like, hey, can y'all celebrate us for just a little bit? Like, no. Nah. It's Albert O into the end with the nude. Listen, we got it. It's clockwork, baby. But no, but yes, the 2025 NBA draft. I'm not excited for it because my Wizards ain't picking in the top 5. Though I knew that was gonna happen. I thought we were gonna. I predicted that we were going to pick a number 5. We ended up picking a number 6, so I was like one off. But yeah, congratulations on the rigged draft, the rigged NBA draft. But how you feeling? How you feeling, KJ, going into the 2025 NBA draft?
I mean, I'm kind of excited. I'm only excited for the first 6 picks. We all know that Dallas is getting Cooper Flag. Okay, we're gonna watch that. I'm kind of interested to see what Philly is gonna do with number 3, whether they keep it or trade it for someone, maybe. And I would say the same thing for number 2 with San Antonio, because not only do they have the number 2 pick, they also have the number 14 pick, and they have De'Aaron Fox, and they have Wemby, so they have a lot of motion that they could be following. But then, after that, you got Charlotte. Okay. And then I guess, I'm subsequently looking at the Jazz because Washington is at 6 and I want to see what y'all going to blunder up.
Really? Nah.
Yeah. And then outside of that, I'm probably going to, turn the TV off or turn my Xbox on. Might drink a beer.
We should be picking like 3rd, but we're not here to. I'm not here to talk about how the NBA is rigging its own draft, but the NBA draft has been rigged, since the implementation of the draft lottery. The NBA's draft has been rigged. I do not care what anybody says, okay? Because conveniently, the Mavs get the number 1 overall pick the moment they traded Luka. You can't. It's just convenience. Kiss my ass. All right, that is not convenience whatsoever. It was a wink, wink, nudge, nudge deal between Nico Harrison and the NBA. All right, it was the NBA saying, I told you all this before on this podcast. It was the NBA saying, hey, we want the Lakers to still be good after LeBron retires, because we know that he's going to be retired in the next year or 2. So we need him to still be good. We need our best. We need one of our marquee franchises to still be good. So Dallas, I heard that y'all ain't really liking Luka like that. Here, if y'all just trade him to the Lakers, we'll give y'all the number 1 overall pick, because we see Cooper Flag coming out. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Made the deal. Okay, don't care what anybody says. All right. I'm not excited for this draft because once again, it's stupid rig drag. No, but we already know he's going number one. I just want to see picks 2 through 6. I wonder how it's going to how everything's going to shake out, because I do want to see are the Sixers going to trade out of that pick? Are they going to try to trade up? Or like who's gonna trade? Is anybody outside the top 3 going to trade into that second or third spots? Because we know the Mavs are not giving that number 1 spot, the number 1 pick. So the premier trade spots are 2 and 3. Because the Spurs, they're at a point where, hey, we got our franchise player. We're trying to now just build around him. And we're trying to create a championship team as soon as possible around our franchise player, before we really have to start paying him big money. So they may be open up to trades. Same thing, the Sixers. Hey, they're trying to win. They're in win now mode with Joel Embiid. They're trying to put a championship level team together with Joel Embiid. So a young player isn't. I don't think there's a player. They're going to be a player at 3, because I know you got the 2 players from, what is it, Rutgers? KJ?
Yeah.
I don't think either. It was Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey.
Yep.
I don't think
that might be 2 and 3 right there.
Yeah. I don't think either one of them is going to help the Sixers get to a championship this coming season. So they're going to be open up to a trade. So
would okay, I have a question for you. If picks 2 and 3, right? I'm not going to get into number 1 because Dallas should pick Cooper Flag. It would be crazy if they traded it for like somebody else, like LeBron. But picks 2 and 3. Do you like, if any team or player would try to trade up in there, who do you think it would be, and for who? Because I could see personally, I could see San Antonio packaging some players, number 2, number 14, for Giannis, and have Giannis and Wemby on the same team. That would be disgusting to me, honestly.
I was talking about having Twin Towers with Giannis and Wemby.
Yes, Twin Towers with Giannis and Wemby, and then you got Fox at the point, and you got Castle at the 2. Chris Paul. Unless Milwaukee is just like absolutely not. I don't see why you would not do that if you're San Antonio. That just because what you gonna do with Dylan Harper? You have a third guard, a third guard. You don't need another guard.
Yeah, and that's why I'm thinking like those 2 and 3. That's after the first overall pick, the second and third picks. That's where the draft really begins, because the question is, are they going to trade out of those? And I really think it's more likely the Spurs than the Sixers, because like you said, you've already got guards. You're just adding another guard to and you're like, you might not want to add another guard to your team. You probably want to wing. Well, though that could probably be either Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper. But anyway, but yeah, I think if I'm the Spurs, if I don't find a trade partner, of course I'm gonna draft one of the Rutgers boys. But I'm in prime position to get a superstar. To get it to that second pick, I can lure somebody to get it. And like you said, I like the fact that you mentioned Milwaukee, because I think that's a perfect trade partner.
Almost, right? Because you got San Antonio, who could, you're just helping them get a championship. You know what I'm saying? And that, again, Wemby and Giannis is like perfect combination to me. You know what I'm saying? Of front court players.
But then if you're Milwaukee, like if you're trying to start over, why not start over with the number 2 pick? Like 1 through 3 are not laughable, or 2 and 3 are not laughable picks. They're very good players. It's just the teams that are there have um what do I want to say? They have that very dynamic situation that they want to capitalize on. And picking these
So
players might not be it.
I'm gonna say also I was about to mention the I guess I don't think Bucks fans would want to trade to the second pick because the last time they had the second overall pick, it was Jabari Parker.
Oh man, right.
Maybe they don't want. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll definitely see. We'll definitely see. But I think once again, Philly and San Antonio, y'all are in prime trade position. All right, and this time 76ers, y'all need to make, if y'all gonna trade out of that pick, y'all need to make a smart trade. Once again, it's got to be. Honestly, Bucks would be a perfect trade partner for the Sixers too, because once again you could pair up that twin towers of
I feel like if you Philly, you might have to give up Giannis.
they make it. No, you don't want to give up.
I mean, give up Embiid, yeah.
Nah, I don't make that trade if I'm Philly. Because like right now, you're trying to win now. If you're Philly, you're trying to, you have your guy in Joel Embiid. You pair him up with another star, with Giannis. You're trying to win now. It's and especially with Embiid's injury history, your window is probably closing, if very very fast. So you're trying to put together, unless you're trying to start the process all over again, which means. Why aren't you starting to listen to trade offers for Embiid right here, right now? And because you're not, it sounds like you're still believing in that process. So now's the time. Now's the time to, hey, you get the third overall pick. Field some trade offers. Once again, the favorite there is Milwaukee, because they have another superstar. You can be like, hey, Milwaukee, you have the third overall pick, top 3 pick. You can start over with another guy, and we just give us Giannis. We'll give you the third overall pick, or whatever first you want. Give us Giannis. And once again, that matter of fact, they'll probably dump Paul George onto the
Hey.
As a matter of fact, we'll give you Paul George too. Just
literally, I'll give you number 3, Paul George, Embiid. Give me Giannis.
Yeah. Well, no, not trade Embiid. No, we'll keep Embiid. We'll give you the third overall pick, and whatever other first you want. We'll also throw in Paul George because we don't want him. He's more of a podcaster than a player at this point.
Right.
But
Podcast P.
Exactly. No, he's literally more of a podcaster than a player at this point. So now we're gonna trade. You give us Giannis. We'll give you, once again, third overall pick and all these first. And we'll be good. We'll ride out with a trio of Embiid, Giannis, and a Maxey. I'm not going to guarantee that's a championship, but that puts you with that sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good to me if I'm a Sixers fan. I ain't gonna guarantee a championship, but that sounds pretty good. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. I guess that's the one thing I'm excited for the draft, is to see are one or both of them going to trade out of those picks. Who's before we move on to our only football related topic, is there another team that you can see KJ trading, up into that second, third? That's not like a losing team, like my Wizards, Utah Jazz. Is there a team that you can see like a contender? Because most likely they're going to trade in that second and third spot. They're going to trade with contenders. Is there another, or not a contender, or a team with an established star? Let's say that. Not a contender, a team with an established star.
Well,
is there another team with an established within it? Huh?
I was finna say, fun fact. Did y'all know that the Orlando Magic changed their logo again?
Oh yeah, I knew that.
They kind of look like the Raptors. But anyway, I maybe
I just thought of a team.
Memphis.
Memphis. Oh yeah. Definitely Memphis with John Morant. But
Yeah,
I think there's even a better team. I think a team that the the Sixers should trade with for the third overall pick in the East.
in the
I
East.
mean, no, sorry, not in the East, in the West. In the West, sorry.
That's what I was thinking. New Orleans.
No, the Phoenix Suns. We just talked
I
about them.
knew you was about to say
Phoenix Suns.
that.
All right. No, not trade for Jalen Green because trade for Devin Booker.
Ooh,
So you tell the hey, if I'm the 76ers, I'm calling up Phoenix. Like, hey, we know you don't want to trade out. We know you don't want to you don't want to trot out a backcourt of Devin Booker and Jalen Green. We know y'all want us to kind of start over, kind of, sort of. All right. We know Devin Booker ain't gonna want to stay there with as the team currently constructed. Trade him to us. If I'm the Sixers, I'm saying, hey, we'll give you the third overall pick. You give us Devin. We'll give you the third overall pick and whatever first round picks that you want. Once again, we'll even throw in Paul George because we're trying to get up off him.
see, my thing, man, my thing. I see where you coming with Philly with trying to still, them still trying to build around Embiid, but Embiid is just not gonna ever be healthy. He's just a name at this point to me. So if I'm Devin Booker, I wouldn't want to go with a Philly. Absolutely not. I would retire because not only is it cold, but they're not well ran. Yeah, I could play with Maxey and that would be cool, but Devin Booker and Maxey is definitely not better than Devin Booker and Jalen Green. I mean, it might be comparable, but I think they trying to throw out Jalen Green and Booker.
I really also.
But then also my last point. Like, say if San Antonio were to try to trade for him, you don't really want to have De'Aaron Fox and. I mean, do you? Would you want De'Aaron Fox and Devin Booker with Wemby?
No, that's why I said the perfect team to trade with the 76ers outside of
between these two. Yeah, for sure.
Would be the Phoenix Suns because you have a player in Devin Booker who probably doesn't want to. Right now on the Suns, you even with Kevin Durant, you missed the playoffs. And right now, you're Devin Booker. You're right where you started off with the Suns. How the Suns really weren't a playoff team. They were like a 20-30 win team. You're back off where you started from. And so, but now you're Devin Booker. I'm about 8 years into my career. I've tasted being in the NBA Finals. I want to get back there. I want to win a championship. Why am I on this team? So this is why I think if I'm the 76ers, I'm calling up Phoenix. Like, hey man, we got a third overall pick. It looks like y'all trying to start over. We're not trying to start over just yet. I understand you're talking about Embiid in his injury history, but my thing is who's going to trade for Embiid? But I would say like my Wizards be stupid enough to trade for Embiid. But anyway,
yeah, let him go rot in Washington, bro.
Yeah,
he's not doing nothing anyway.
But if I'm because I think they're trying to get whatever they can out of Embiid. I think the Sixers still believe they can win with Embiid, and because of that, I'm making a trade to the Phoenix Suns. I'm giving them the third overall pick and whatever first round picks. Once again, throw in Podcast P in there, and we'll take Devin Booker, and we'll ride out of a trio with Maxey, Booker, and Embiid, and we will try to at least make it to the NBA Finals.
Hey, bro, I have a spicy take. Take. I know we talking about picks 2 and 3,
Mm-hmm.
What if the Dallas Mavericks traded for Devin Booker?
That's an idiotic thing to do.
For the Mavericks?
Yeah, that's stupid. That is. First of all, the league rigged it so then y'all can get the number one overall pick. Then
They'll
you're
never
gonna
give you
waste
nothing
that.
else ever.
Then you're gonna waste that rigging just for Devin Booker. No,
Devin
no, no,
Booker
no
is
disrespect
fire
to Devin.
now.
No disrespect for Devin Booker.
You would
He's an
have
all-star. He's an all-star level player. He's a very good player. But if I am giving up the number one overall pick, you better give me Jokic or Giannis. Specifically Jokic. I better be getting Jokic. All right.
I think it could.
I better be getting a superstar. Not a star.
Devin Booker.
Devin Booker is not a superstar. He's
He's
a star.
an Olympian.
He is a
Bro,
star.
you would have Devin Booker, Klay Thompson, Kyrie
He is a
Irving,
star.
Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Caleb Martin, Max Chris. I go on forever. No, that's where it ends. But I'm just saying you in win now mode with Anthony Davis. So like, Devin Booker could do a lot of the same things that Cooper Flag can do, just at a more experienced level. But just something to think about. I still probably would go with Cooper Flag, but if Phoenix called me up,
I
would be tempted.
I said what I said. The only way I'm trading out of that number one overall pick is if Denver has to call me up. If I'm the Dallas Mavericks, the only way I'm trading out of that number one overall pick is Denver has to call me up and say, we will give you Jokic if you give us the number one overall pick. I'm saying, bet. Cool. Well, let's do that. Let's do it today. Let's do that today. Let's do it right now. That's the only way. That's the only way I'm giving that up. Because then, I'm giving up the future face of my franchise for a guy who's the best player in the league and a guy that's still in his prime for the foreseeable 5 to 10 years. And that bam opens up my championship window wide open. Because at the end of the day, the ultimate goal for any franchise is to win a championship. But yeah. But that's all for the NBA topics. The NBA draft is on Wednesday, so we just gotta wait a couple more days. Just wait a couple days. But let's go ahead and talk about some NFL football. Over these past few podcasts, we've been ranking our top 5 skill position players outside of quarterbacks because we always do top 5 quarterbacks. Last week I think we did the running backs.
Wide receivers.
Sorry. We began with the running backs. We did wide receivers last week. And now we're getting into the tight ends. Top 5 NFL tight ends. So, KJ, who are your top 5 tight ends in the NFL?
Okay. I am going to go ahead and start off at the bottom. I am thinking McBride from Arizona.
All right.
Pretty solid tight end. At 4, I want to put a player like Hawkinson in there.
TJ Hawkinson?
Yeah, I think I'm going to keep TJ Hawkinson in there. At 3, you got to put in George Kittle. At 2, I mean, who else is better than Brock Bowers? I'm only putting Travis Kelce at number 1 because he got a 99 overall Madden rating. and he's won a Super Bowl. So I think that right there would round out my top 5. I would give respects to Pat Freiermuth in Pittsburgh. Oh,
all right. My top 5.
Hold on. I'm disrespecting. I got the wrong purple guy. Take out TJ Hawkinson and put in Mark Andrews. Thank you.
Well, he was good. Mark, talking about top tight ends, my honorable mentions were the guys like Mark Andrews, guys like T.J. Hawkinson. Once again, Fryer moves from Pittsburgh. Give him a little bit of a shout out as well. But starting out at 5, really, I'm gonna let y'all know 2 through 5 are all interchangeable. I just put them in however I put them in. But for me, 2 to 5 is all interchangeable. But number 1 remains for me. But 5, George Kittle. 4, Travis Kelce. I understand he's won Super Bowls. I understand he's still Patrick Mahomes' main target, but we've seen that he's starting to lose a little bit of step. Age and attrition's coming in. And the reason why George Kittle's at 5, I would put George Kittle higher, but my problem is that for some reason he just gets hurt for a lot of the season. Or he'll have games where, but if we're talking about complete tight ends, I think if we're talking about just complete tight ends, I believe George Kittle's actually probably still number 1. But the problem is that I don't know, he'll have games will look like 2 catches for 35 yards. I'm like, dude, come on. Like, you're way too talented to just to have games like that. But it's also the kind of the way the 49ers play. Like, if they realize the running game is really, really, winning them the game, they'll stick with that until the team stops it. But anyway, once again, 5, George Kittle. 4, Travis Kelce. 3, Trey McBride from the Cardinals. Number 2, I've got Sam Laporta. I really like
Laportier.
I really like Sam Laporta. I really like Sam Laporta. But once again, 2 through 5 is all interchangeable. Like, if you would have had Sam Laporta at 5 and then George Kittle, it don't matter to me. But number 1 remains on top. My man, Brock Bowers. No, let me get my Paul Heyman on. Brock Bowers, baby. This man, Brock Bowers, his rookie season. It's not just because I drafted him in fantasy, and I thank everybody in our fantasy league that just allowed him to fall to me. I'm like, because he was there was no other tight end I was going to draft this year other than Brock Bowers. That was my number 1 guy. Everybody else was in the fantasy league was trying to draft Sam Laporta, Kelce, Kittle. Everybody else was trying to do. I looked at. I'm like, Brock Bowers. That's the only guy.
Yet another player y'all stole from me. It's okay. It's not happening this year. I'm up on game.
I got a new tight end one, but anyway, but yes, this man Brock Bowers didn't just live up to the hype. For me, he surpassed everything. Now, he did need to score a little bit more touchdowns. I feel like his talent, I think he'll score 3 or 4 touchdowns this season. I really feel like he could have scored a lot more. But once again, who do you have? You had quarterback. you had what? Aiden O'Connell and freaking Gardner Minshew at quarterback. So I'm not gonna. And even with those 2 garbage quarterbacks, this man still produced 100+ catches, over 1,000 as a rookie. This man Brock Bowers was everything I thought he was going to be this year, and honestly, a whole lot more. Number 1 tight end, automatic. This man for me is automatically the number 1 tight end in the NFL. Just off his rookie season, and he could even be better. That's the crazy part. He's just scratching the surface of what he can be. Just scratching the surface. Brock Bowers, tight end 1 for the next 10 years. Don't care what anybody says. The only thing that's going to stop him, knock on wood, is injury. He is tight end 1 for the next 10, 15 years. Argue with your mama, argue with a wall, argue with anybody else, but you are not going to argue with me, because I am going to die on that hill. Brock Bowers, tight end 1, next 10 years, best tight end in the league, right here, right now. That's it. How you gonna put Travis Kelce old ass in front, man? That's just no.
Likes and numbers.
But yes, those are the top 5 tight ends. Let's go ahead and wrap this podcast up now, like we always do, with our last second shout outs. So, KJ, who in the sports world do you have to shout out?
I am going to go ahead and shout out the LSU men's baseball team because they just went on a undefeated men's college World Series run. Their first one since 2013. So shout out to them for getting their 8th program title.
Well, my shout out goes out to 2 players. Chris Middleton for my Wizards picking up his $33.3 million option. We know we're going to eventually get traded, but it's okay. Get your money, man. We look like we're taking care of you. And shout out to former Wizard Daniel Gafford for getting a 3-year, $60 million extension from the Dallas Mavericks. All right, everybody getting paid, baby. Offseason has already started. But yeah, shout out to you two for getting paid. Hey. But that's all the time we have, folks. You've now tuned in to MC Ron and his co-host.
Your guy, Zen on Ken.
And we are keeping it 10 toes down. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be on the podcast and talk your sports stuff with the best in the business, that is me and my co-host KJ. All you have to do is one of 2 things. Either send an email to keepingit10toesdown@gmail.com. That is keepingit10toesdown@gmail.com. Or send us a direct message on Instagram. That is at keepingit10toes. That is at keepingit10toes. KJ, we're going into the sad part of the sports here. Well, for you, because I still got tennis I can watch. But
nothing on.
Well, look, you got baseball.
I'd rather watch the draft.
Yeah. Hey, we still got the NBA Summer League coming up, so I think that's a good thing. But
man, shout out to my Cardinals, and shout out to the Detroit Tigers too. I see y'all up there, tops of y'all division, tops of y'all league.
But yes, the sad part of this season, the sports season, where no football, no basketball, NFL and NBA is gone. But we just got to get past the month. We just got to get past this month of July. It's okay. We can get past this month of July. Because guess also what comes up jumping in July. We got Wimbledon, baby. Wimbledon. For me being a tennis fan, I just can't wait to watch. Let's go, Kyle Zacharias. Win you another one, baby. Young goat. But you all have a great day, a great night, and enjoy the 2025 NBA Draft.
The sun is under my feet and I come in peace to compete. I don't run if you athlete. My statistics go up in weeks and I go visit the nearest creek and I get busy. Yo, mini MC, really ballistic. Anybody can see any assistance. Everybody to see some persistence. Recognize I be really too vicious. The permanent beast and the demolition. Bringing up the street, better partition. Better dot your T. Hannibal mention. How all you see. Putting my dick in the rap industry. Everybody bitching, getting mad at me. Recognize Kendrick in a battery. And I'm charged up in a catastrophe. It's charged up in audacity. Y'all fucking